Welcome guys, welcome back to the second part of the daily video. As I said in my previous one, I already made a daily video, but it was just dedicated to the Dybala chapter because otherwise it would be too big of a video and it was just too much. So if you haven't watched it, you can click the link or the info button on the top right corner, I think. Is a video all on Dybala. This one is gonna be transfer news in general, or news in general, basically. So that's why I split it. So after this video, you can check out the Dybala one. If you haven't, before we get into it, like the video and subscribe to the channel as always. And then we will go. What the hell? Then we will go into today's transfer news or just news in general. And before I get into it, international break is around the corner next week. It starts next week. So the coming 2 weeks we will hear a lot of stuff, especially Dybala, but just in general we will hear a lot of stuff because that's how it is. I would say by now, the last few weeks, you can hear the same stuff. Not maybe different names, but position-wise you can hear the same thing. So it's kind of shaping up now in terms of what the club is trying to do or wants to do moving forward, and you will see that in today's video that they want to go in a certain direction. Now we can say, is it the right direction? We will see. But the first bit of news is about Rudiger. Now, I've always said we need a defender. We have De Ligt, we have Bonucci, who is now struggling to stay fit. We have Chiellini, who is never fit. And we have Rugani, who is a good replacement, but as you can see, he played well. Like, this season he played well. Even up to that mistake, he was playing well. But you made that mistake. He's not a starting centre-back. So we need a centre-back, a good one, to partner De Ligt. That's what we need. And at the moment, yeah, we got Gatti, but I don't see it happening that he's coming back. And, like, I don't want that, to be honest, because that's a big risk. But the name that's been out there is Rudiger. Because he's on a free and it's not likely he's going to sign back with Chelsea, so he's looking for a team and we are among one of those teams. So Gazzetta dello Sport, again, it says Gazzetta dello Sport today, it's all Fabiana Della Valle, so it's a good source. And she's saying there already have been contacts with Rudiger's agent. The demanded wages are high, but Allegri really likes the player. The club is also looking at Bremer and Milankovic as alternative. Now, Milankovic is a no-go. He's another backup. He's not a starter, and we need a starter. Someone who maybe will not start at the season, but will be the starter at the end of the season. That's what we need, because Bonucci will not stay fit. Chiellini, I'm not even including Chiellini, and Rugani is what Rugani is. So, and Milankovic, he's a good player, but he cannot be the starter. Like, I actually don't see it. I like him as a backup, as a squad player, but not as a starter. Moving forward, if you want to compete, if you want to avoid what happened again against Villarreal happening moving forward down the line, keeps happening. That's something we need to avoid. So for me, that's a no. Bremer, I think he's going Inter. I don't want to say that's obvious, but like going off reports, it's just Inter. Like, that's it. And if she says it's the alternative, then I think, yeah, it's Inter. So it's Rudiger at the moment, and Rudiger, I don't know about Rudiger. I have serious doubts about Rudiger for several reasons. One, he's 29. Again, that's not old for a defender. Like, you can play until you're 35, you stay fit, at least, if you're a good one. He's playing well the last almost 2 seasons. I would say 1.5 he's playing at a very high level. But before that, he was not good. And I remember Chelsea fans wanting him out. He was not good when he played for Germany. He was just not good. Like, let's be honest, and I think he will say that. If you ask him before Tuchel came in, he wasn't good. And that back three is helping him a lot. It suits him, which is fine. Like, it's okay. There's no shame. Like, it is what it is. He played a few games in a back four, but we always play in a back four. And he is playing very, very well in a back three. And I don't think Allegri is going to play back three. I hope not. So for me, it's a weird link. It's actually a weird link, especially what he's asking for. Now, Rudiger said think it was yesterday or the day before, he said, yeah, I left my quote-unquote heart in Italy, like one day coming back. So he's a bit, I want to say, flirting with a move back to Italy, and we are the only option. But I think teams like PSG at the end will offer more than we do. But again, at the moment, he's the name. It's Rudiger. I'm not the biggest fan of Rudiger because I want someone younger to come in and partner the league so we can build a good defense for the coming, like, I'm going to exaggerate, 10 years again. It's not going to happen, but you know what I mean. But let's see. For now, it's Rudiger. That's the name that's been out there, and it's being pushed a lot in the last few days, if we're being honest. So we need to take it serious. It's Rudiger by now. Then we move on to the midfield, which I think is the area that needs to improve the most. And I know we have a bad left back and all those things, but against Villarreal, that midfield was it was so clear. They're not good enough. Like, Arthur cannot do what he needs to do. Rabiot, he played a good game against Villarreal, but like, he offers very little, and you cannot have Locatelli again on his own in there next season. With McKennie, with Zakaria, you need a main man in there, like a big time player. You need him, and because again, you can mask a bad left back for maybe one more year. I don't think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna bring someone in at left back, but that midfield, like, games are won and lost with that midfield. And you see, especially that second half, Arthur, he was on the ball so many times, but everything he did was so basic. Like, you're not gonna win stuff with players like that. You're just not. You're not gonna do it. So I think that's a priority, and I think the club sees that as a priority. But the news is Juve want to boost their midfield with a big name. At the top of the list is Pogba. He's Allegri's number one choice. However, Paul will need to take a pay cut. Option B is Jorginho, with De Jong being the alternative, but also the most expensive option. Now, if he wants a pure regista, then it's Jorginho. But according to Fabiana, it's not that deep that he wants a pure regista. He will take Pogba, and that means I think Locatelli will play as a regista, which I don't actually like. I don't, but I've seen Pogba under Allegri, and I'm not a fan of bringing players back, so he's not my preferred option. But I think if he comes back, he will be big time again, because I think if he has a stable environment, and with stable I mean an environment where pundits and fans don't complain about a haircut and stuff, that's the main issue. It sounds weird, it's the main issue, and where he's not being played out of position, because he will not be played out of position under Allegri, because he's too good, he's too talented, and he is a difference maker, and Allegri really likes him, because his best seasons, his most impressive seasons, maybe not stat wise, but ability wise, what he did was under Allegri. So I have no doubt I have no doubt on my mind that if he comes back, he will perform at a very high level again. I actually believe that. He's 29, or he will be 29. It's prime years. I know about his injuries, but they're not muscle injuries. There are different injuries that I'm putting on the sideline. Like, it's not muscle injuries. It's a problem, like a Chiellini or like a Dybala now at this moment in time. But let's see. He's not my priority just because I'm not a fan of bringing ex-players back. But I can see why Allegri wants him, and I can see him doing very, very well. And he will be instantly one of our best players, if not the most talented player on that squad immediately. So I don't know. Let's see. I actually don't believe it that he's coming, because he's a free agent. Other teams can offer way more money, and it's probably gonna be his last payday. So I struggle to see him taking a big pay cut to join his ex team once again. He's done that. He's been here. I don't know. Let's see. For me, if he wants a regista, it's Jorginho. But according to Fabiana, it's not. Frankie de Jong, I don't believe that. Just because he's playing well for Barcelona. Maybe Xavi doesn't like him, but the price tag is so high. It will be high. I don't think we're going to pay that. So I think that's a no-go. But yeah, then we move on to the players that are for sale. Now, it's pretty obvious. Like she said, Rabiot, Sandro, Arthur, and Keane are on the top of the list of players the club wants to move on. Pellegrini could leave on a loan deal. I agree with all the names. I don't rate any of them particularly. I rated Rabiot in the past, but like obviously not anymore. Like, I think that's clear. Arthur is a good player, but not what we need. He needs a coach that is okay with what he does. I don't think Allegri is. So yeah, and Pellegrini, I said it many times before, I don't rate him. I don't rate him at all. I say play him in front of Sandro because Sandro is thinking it out for 3 seasons now, so it's something different. But Pellegrini is not. He's not a great player. He isn't. Every time he plays, I'm like, yeah, like you are there, but like it's nothing special. It's nothing wow. Like it's just you're there. Like, and again, it's better than Sandro. Yeah, because maybe he messes up less than Sandro, but overall, he's not the guy. He isn't the guy, and he cannot be the guy. So as a backup, maybe, but I do believe he will be moved on. That's the feeling I get, because he stayed at the end because he wanted to stay in the summer. Otherwise, the club was trying to move him out. He stayed because he didn't want to leave. He was out of the Champions League list for a reason, because Allegri was like, we tried to move you on in the summer. You said no. Great, you will get a shot along the line, but like overall, you're not in my plans. So that's that. Like, no shocker to me. The name's pretty obvious. I think. And then we move on to a new left back that basically links up with the previous news, and she's saying Juve are looking at a left back, with Marco Alonso being a name to keep a serious eye at. Bellanova and Cambiasso are among the other options. I would say all those options are depressing. One more than the other. Like Marcos Alonso, that's probably the saddest news I've seen this week, and that's including us losing to Villarreal 3-0. Marcos Alonso, like, on his day, he looks like a world beater, but he has those days once every 3 months, maybe. He ain't it. I don't know. He's 31, 30. That's not the way to go. Like, again, bringing in an old player to do what? Because he's not it. He's not it. Bellanova, I like him more than Cambiasso because I think he's more ready. But they're not. How do you want to say it? Like, they're not. Wow. Yes, that's it. Great. We're going from Sandro to Bellanova or Cambiasso. Those names don't have that effect on me. So maybe it's just me. And I know there are not a good left backs out there. There aren't, unless you're gonna pay big money, and no team is paying big money for a left back. But let's see. Marcos Alonso, like, that cannot be the option in my opinion. Like Emerson Palmieri, then I'd rather have Bellanova and Cambiasso rather than those names coming in on 3.5 million euros for 4 years or 3 years. Like, no. Then I'd rather have one of those younger names, which, to be honest, are very interesting players. Not ready, but that's why I still have a feeling like they're gonna keep Sandro. They're gonna try and move him on, but if they see like we need to bring up a younger player, they're gonna keep Sandro until the end of his deal and then move on from him in 23, while the new player can, I don't want to say, have some cameos here and there to learn and stuff like that. That's my feeling. But let's see. Then we move on to some key news. She's saying if Juve can agree on a deal with Everton and Moise will leave, then the club will go for Raspadori. And I will read the following news. That's about the attack. She said Zaniolo is the main target for the attack, but the idea of Raspadori is not to be dismissed. So the Raspadori link is coming back more frequently now. I think we just need to wait until Monday to see what's going to happen with Dybala. And then we can paint the picture of, okay, if he leaves, what are we going to do? What is going to be the formation? Because Vlahovic is going to say they're hoping to keep Morata on a cheaper option. I think they will try to move on Keane. So Bernardeschi, no idea what's going to happen. So a lot of things are moving. So now the names are being thrown out at us. It's Zaniolo and it's Raspadori. Let's see, because I need to know who's going to leave. I think the club needs to know who's going to leave to basically say, okay, we need that player, because they're different players, Zaniolo and Raspadori. So I think you need to wait a bit. We all need to wait. Like, they can throw out names because, yeah, the club, I believe they're interested in Zaniolo and Raspadori. But I think at this point in time, it's a bit difficult to say we need that player or that player. Unless they know Keane is going to leave 100% sure. Dybala is going to leave 100% sure. Bernardeschi's not going to stay. Morata is going to stay. Like, unless the club knows. But I doubt they know. It's too early to know, in my opinion. So let's see. But I think Raspadori is a serious option, like Zaniolo. I think there's no hiding from that. there are serious options. But let's see how that will evolve over the coming weeks. And then she also said players like Vlahovic, obviously Danilo, Locatelli, Chiesa, Bonucci, Quadrado are certain to be at the club next season, with Juve hoping to keep Morata on a discount price from Atletico, and De Ligt now moving towards staying at the club. Now, De Ligt can still leave. I believe he's going to stay. I said that in December. Julian doesn't agree. I think he's going to stay. The other names are obvious because Bonucci has a contract, Chiesa, Locatelli, Vlahovic. Danilo has a contract. Quadrado will get a contract. I have a problem with the length of the contract Quadrado's getting, but that's for a different day, I think. But yeah, like obvious names. I think a lot of players are up for grabs. Like I think she named those players. I think the names the club will say, no, we're not going to talk. Is Vlahovic, is De Ligt, is Locatelli, is Chiesa. And I think all the rest, the club will open a debate if an offer comes in. I believe, again, if somebody offers ridiculous money for Chiesa, I do believe the club is going to talk about it, because if it's ridiculous, they will take it. But just in general, if a fair offer comes in for those players I just mentioned, I think the club will say, nah, we'd rather keep them. But let's see. And then we end the video with some management news. It's saying Juve have opened talks with Giovanni Sartori for the next season to reinforce the management. At the beginning of February, there was the first meeting. Sartori will leave Atalanta at the end of the season. That's for Nico Schira. He's the Atalanta sporting director. He's good at bringing young players and talented players. But I don't know, like 4-inch players. But Atalanta are a different club than us. They gave chances. They have a great youth system. Like their under-19s is impressive. So I don't know how that's going to work really. He has done a phenomenal job, but it's different at us. It's very different because you know how it is. It's what win now and all those things. So I have actually no idea how to react about it. I don't see how it's going to work with Cherubini. Like, I'm not sure. And there was also reports saying they're trying for Giuntoli from Napoli still, because I think he's out of contract. I think that will fit better to what the club wants, looking at the profiles and what those two have done in the past. But let's see. Last summer there was talk about Carnevali. Like, there's always some talk. But let's see what will happen. It's new, so I'll put that out there. That's something for maybe next month or something, that you will know, yeah, someone's coming in, or no, nobody's coming in. But yeah, this is the second daily video. If you haven't watched the first one, it's only about Dybala. That's why I split it, because people don't want to hear the Dybala talk always. So it's a Dybala daily news video and an overall daily news video. We will be live in a few hours. If you have watched this video, if you watch it later, then probably we already had the live, so you can rewatch also that one. We will discuss the Dybala situation, Arrivabene's words, and this transfer news also. Yeah, as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you stay notified when we put out a video. And then we will see you in the next one. So, ciao.